Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the channel on what is a beautiful, lovely, sunny afternoon. We're around 20 degrees here in West Yorkshire, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a midweek update, and I'm going to start first off by harvesting as many of these sweet peppers as I possibly can, because they're starting to go a little bit soft now, and I don't want that. I want to get them as fresh as I can, and I'm going to take the lot home and we will use some and slice them and freeze them, and we'll give some out to the rest of the family. The onions are drying really well, as you can see, so I'm going to be taking those out of here soon and tending to those. But today I'm going to crack on and get these sweet peppers out. I'm going to clear one of the beds in the small greenhouse of the tomato plants. One side still got quite a few on, so I'm going to leave those for another couple of weeks. And I'm also going to cut back some of the foliage on the squash, which probably about a week ago we got a slight frost and that sort of withered them away. So I'm going to clear all that, and it'll bring into the sun the small jackby little squashes that I've got. So I'm going to crack on with this, and once I am nearly complete, I will come back to you. I will just, before I go, quite a decent size. I'll get these up and I'll be back with you shortly. So I've managed to harvest 2 basketfuls of peppers that are all in really nice crispy condition. Not looking too bad. 1 or 2 plants are emptied, so there were a few green ones on, and I've taken those and we'll see if they ripen off at home. If not, we'll just eat them green. That's how many. I'll come closer. This is how many I got off where there'd been a little bit of damage on them, and some that are over ripened, as you can see there, and gone all soft. So I've sorted those out. They'll be going on the compost heap. So yeah, I've lightened it down now to, there's a few plants come outside. The compost will stay in the bed just outside the greenhouse, and eventually I'll empty those out, and all that will go either into the beds or down into the compost bay. Right, I'll take you down to the small greenhouse and I'll show you the state of play in there. So we are in the small greenhouse. As you can see in here now, these plants are pretty much done, browned off, and there's 1 or 2 tomatoes on there that are okay, some that have gone soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole bed out completely, and this side there's still 1 or 2 tasty tomatoes on here, but they are going soft now, as you can see there. So I'm going to sort this side out as well. 1 or 2 of the bigger type down at the bottom. So this has to be dealt with. I'm going to do it in phases. I'll do this side first today, and then I'll tackle that later on this week. I'll start off by taking out all these bamboo canes. Oops, what's the glass? And then I will proceed to pull the plants out. What I'll do with this is I won't mess about trying to compost this. I'm just going to get this straight down to the bottom of the plot, and I will just burn it. A lot of people say they can't produce enough compost to make it worthwhile, but my bays are quite full, so I don't seem to do that bad. But this greenhouse has served me well, really. I've taken baskets and baskets of produce home with me, and tomatoes in particular, and my wife's probably takes a deep breath when she sees the van pull up and the sliding doors open for the back, and I turn up with 2 full trays of tomatoes. But she does enjoy it, really. There's a lot of weeds in here as well. Oh dear. These have rooted really, really well. It's probably going to take me a lot longer than I thought, because I'm going to have to knock all the compost off as best I can. But luckily enough, I've got that compost that was given to me by a friend that'll help top these up. Right, leave me with it, and I'll come back to you once we've finished. So that's the last one out of there, and as you can see, a hell of a lot of weed in there, and there'll be millions and millions of tomato seeds as we get through and clear it all, and they'll come up and come up and come up, and all I do is I just keep hoeing them off as I come through, and by the time we get to next season and I've dressed the beds, they've all disappeared. But as you can see, on the outside of the greenhouse there, I've got a number of green tomatoes. Loads of outside tomatoes have just not ripened. There's the odd one or two, as you can see there, that have done all right, but the majority of them have not done so. So they can stay out. If this Indian summer continues, then you never know, I'll get a few more red ones, but I'll certainly have enough to be going on with for the chutneys that we need, and also for some of the people that come down from the various sort of charity groups that collect to raise money. So yeah, right, I've done that. There's going to be a little bit of tidying up to be done, but the main thing was just to get them out. There's more light in here now, so hopefully the few that are on this side will ripen up a little bit, and I'll be able to get as many red ones off there as I possibly can before I take those out. It's just amazing. It doesn't seem 2 minutes since I were celebrating the fact that we'd put our first tomatoes in. Father Time waits for no man. Right, I'll get this tidied up, and then we'll get across to the squash beds and we'll have a quick look at those. So I'm just cutting away some of this squash foliage. As you can see, that little bit of frost that we had probably a week to 10 days ago, just a light frost, has blackened a lot of it off anyway. So I'm just taking it out to try and expose the squash that we have in there. As I say, I think these are called sunburst, and these are quite a decent size. So by taking this foliage away, hopefully they'll be able to ripen up. But as you can see, a lot of it got burnt anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on. I'm gonna do this one as well, and I've got another one over there. Out of the butternut squash, I got one fruit, just one. But to be fair, as I said before, I was a little bit quick off the mark and the soil were nowhere near warm enough. So next year, I'm going to take heed of that. How prickly are these leaves as well? So that's all the squash beds sort of cleaned up a little bit, and hopefully now with a little bit of sun on those, I should ripen them up. Going over to this side, this is where the butternut squash were, and I got that one there. That's the only one that I can see, and then we've got this one now. I'm not sure which this one is. I don't know if this is one of those You Cheeky. If you know, give us a shout, leave a note in the comments, and you live and learn. I put two plants in here, exactly the same. I think these are the golden sunrise, the sunburst, and I put two in, and if you look, there's nowhere near as much fruit on those two. Oh guys, I've just spotted something. We've got two squash. Two. Hey, I made up. And look at the size of that. Look at the size. Let me put my foot there. There we go. I'm a size 9. Look at that. I'm really made up. I don't think there'll be any more. This is that path I was telling you about that I'm responsible for. I can't see any more down there. I have got quite a bit of work cut out there. But I've not seen my plot neighbour yet to discuss that. So, yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah, what I was saying is, I put two plants in this box, and between the two, they've not done anywhere near as many as this one that I put in on its own. So even though it's been a poor year for me and the squash, at least I've learnt something. That's the key thing. Martin over at the Hanley Plotter has had an absolute bumper year. I've never seen a crop of squash like that before, and he says that's not his best crop. He's had better in the past. So Martin, you need to let me into your secret. So I've just, this lot of the tomato plants to shift down to the plot, sweep all that up, and then I'll come back to the rest tomorrow. Well folks, that's it from me. A short and sweet little midweek update as to where I am. I'm sorry that I've not responded to a lot of the comments that I had from the last video just yet. I've been really sort of busy. As I was saying, I went to well over the weekend. Luckily enough, I picked up a little bit on the Sunday afternoon, but we were at a wedding on Monday, and we didn't get back until the following day. So I'm a little bit behind time. So I will try and get through those comments, because I like to answer. You've taken the time out to ask a question. I think it's only fair that you reciprocate. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I will see you all over the weekend, hopefully. Until then, have a great rest of the week. Stay safe and happy growing.